everybody, happy Monday. I did my analysis this week on a plus size fashion online retailer called Eloquii. Rumor has it that they're about to go brick and mortar, but to be determined. Anyway, as a little bit of background before I jump into the two references that I was going to cover, they were actually started as a part of the Limited, and they were very quiet and hush-hush about when they brought out that division of their store. And then a lot of bloggers and other fashion-forward people really caught on to that, and the internet exploded with that information. And then sort of out of the blue, they just decided to pull the line, and that caused a whole host of issues with the online plus-size fashion community. And then some investors swooped in and rehired some of the people that were on that team and decided to relaunch it as an independent company that's only online retail. And since then, they've just really blown up as part of this whole push for more positive relationships in the plus size fashion industry and more options for women and more accessibility and more fashion forward things. So anyway, that's the background. And I just think that part of what makes them stand out is the fact that they tailor their clothes specifically for each size versus just sizing up like a lot of retailers do. And I read a pretty interesting article from Forbes that was about how that has made a really big difference in their sales and creating this really solid following, which is interesting because that's not rocket science, but has become such a big part of their brand and has made them stand out from a lot of other companies that were selling like straight sizes and plus size, but they are specializing in that and communicating that. And I think that they've really had enough time now to build a really solid reputation and gain the backing of a lot of bloggers and stuff. And that has really stood out for them. I mean, if it's getting picked up by Forbes, they're obviously doing something right. And then another reference that I found really interesting was from the New Yorker. And it was about plus size fashion week. And this reporter went and was covering how different it was. But Eloquii did a trunk show there. And that really stood out to the author because it was the first time that so many of the people that were covering that week were kind of shocked by the accessibility and the fashion forwardness, not an official word, but of the product that they were selling. And one of the women that was really involved gave this really great quote, and she said, if you're not going to invite me to your party, I'll have my own party. And I think that that's a big part of Eloquii's brand, and what has made them so successful is this notion of the fashion industry wasn't necessarily including plus size women to the fullest extent. I think they've definitely grown leaps and bounds, but it wasn't all encompassing the way that a lot of people would like for it to be. And so as a brand, Eloquii made their own party and have been really successful in that. So those two articles were really interesting. It was helpful because it was something I already knew as a consumer, but in looking at it from a more analytical lens, those two articles really helped to tie it all together for me. So the links are in my explanation if you're curious and want to read them. But if not, that's a brief synopsis. So I will catch you guys next week.